in the sport of boxing, when you have a lot of machismo and a lot of you know, a lot of men that pride themselves in being men. You know, like they pride themselves in being men. Let me kind of lay it out for you. Here's my stance on a lot of the LGBT community. Right? Like here's my stance. It's not going to make a lot of people happy. It actually pisses both sides off, to be honest. But here's my honest take. All right? And there's different ways to look at things, philosophically, socially, legally, right? There's different perspectives and different conversations to be had, right? So legally, do I think two people should get married if they want to get married? Sure. It's none of my business if two dudes want to get married. And whatever the fuck they do in their own house, in their own bedroom, it's on them. All right? That's it. It's absolutely none of my business if two chicks want to hook up and do their thing. All right? They're not into the dick. It is what it is. Like, like what are you going to do? Like, how is it bothering you? Worry about yourself. Right? You got to worry about yourself. These people, like, come on. In a society where a mass murderer could get married, all right, in jail, if some stupid broad is dumb enough to get married with a mass murderer in fucking jail, all right, and he'll have a right to get visitations from that, girl, and he could get married with her and yada, 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 right? The whole nine. They can do that. They've made accommodations for people like that. But two consenting adults can't get married. Come on, that's bullshit, all right? Anybody with a level head knows that's bullshit. You could be the biggest homophobic in the world. That's fucking bullshit. Like, it is. Okay? Deep down that it's none of your fucking business what these people do with their lives. None. Right? That's it. So let me tell you the way I look at it. If somebody told me I couldn't be with a person I love, that I can't be with a woman I love, if somebody told me that, I would tell them, fuck you. So you're no one to tell someone else they can't be with a person they love. End of discussion. Like, it's not that complicated. Right? Now, do I think there's boundaries and limits on certain things? Not necessarily gays, but like, let's say the whole bathroom thing. The freaking men's room, women's room, right? They're built for our parts, our body parts. That's why men's restrooms have urinals and shit, right? If you were born a male, you go to the male's room, a restroom. If you're born a female, you go to the female's restroom. It's not that complicated. Okay, I don't think someone should just say, you know what, I feel like I'm a woman, therefore I'm going to go to the women's restroom. You see, I don't go that far. You see, at that point, it's like, whoa, hold on. Okay? Because it's not the same thing. I've actually had people argue with me saying that I'm being bigoted and saying that I'm discriminating against, those people, and that I'm, the transgendered community, right? That I'm being bigoted and I'm segregating. What are you talking about, segregating? Segregating? I was born a male, and I can go to the male's restroom, and you can as well. I'm not stopping you from going to the male's restroom to take a leak like everybody else. I'm not stopping any man from going to the men's restroom. That's the opposite of segregation. That's actually desegregation, right? So the same with women, right? You have a vagina, you go to the women's restroom. Point blank, period. Okay? That's just the way it works. This whole but like what? Like really? Like it's that big of a deal? Like a restroom is literally to go take a dump and piss and wash your hands. That's all the restroom's for. It's nothing more, right? And they're provided by public restrooms by the private company that owns them, or tax dollars for public places, right? And they're for everyone, and they're separated in two. End of discussion. You're telling me that a mother with a young child, okay, is supposed to just shrug off some 6 foot tall motherfucker that walks into the women's restroom and says, I think I'm a woman, right? This is not about, anything other than anything. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of point that out, like, in all honesty. Too many times I've seen like dudes walk into women's restrooms or locker rooms and shit, and it's because, well, I'm transgendered, he's gay, or this, that, or the third, and it makes women uncomfortable. Like the shit's insane, right? The shit's insane, and I've heard the arguments that, well, it's not an epidemic. Well, if you make it legal, it could definitely become an epidemic, all right? Like, the shit is insane, all right? All right? It's dictated by your body part. Go fucking take a leak in the urinal, all right? Now, well, that's it. That's it. All right? So I could be reasonable, guys. It's for you to be reasonable, you have to be reasonable. You can't be unreasonable about other shit and then have people believe you that you're trying to be reasonable about something else, right? Now, with that said, Manny Pacquiao come out and he said that he's against gay marriage. He quoted the Bible. Manny Pacquiao is really heavy on this, religion shit lately, right? And it's his thing, and that's fine. But I've been hearing people say so much inaccuracies about the Manny Pacquiao situation, right? So the inaccuracies are, wow, Manny Pacquiao, he has a right to freedom of speech. Let me make this clear. Manny Pacquiao lives in the Philippines, and he said this in the Philippines. He did not say this in the United States of America, all right? I just want people to know that. Like, it's not like not everyone has, like, our constitutional rights, right? It's just for this, just saying. Now, philosophically, right, and socially, can you argue, no, Magna Carta, man, like I just believe that freedom of speech is a right to everyone, that period, no matter where they live. I mean, I agree with that. I agree with you 100%, right? But a lot of people try and make a legal argument for the freedom of speech. Like here's the reality, okay? You have a right to say whatever you want. And everybody else has a right to react however they want. Like, it works both ways. It's not, you don't just get to say whatever you want and then, well, I guess we got to accept it. It is what it is. Like, no, people have a right to say, nah, that's kind of bullshit, right? Like, can a KKK member go around and hold racist signs up and do all this, that, and the third? Sure, why not? They have a right to do that. And then people have a right to counter-protest that, right? Like, that's just the way it is. People don't have to listen to the message. People don't have to listen to it or agree with what Manny Pacquiao has to say. Nike doesn't have to agree with what, Manny Pacquiao has to say. They don't have to bow down and say, oh, yeah, freedom of speech, whatever he says. No. They have rights, too. Nike has rights. They're paying Manny Pacquiao. Therefore, they have a right to say, you know what, we don't want to affiliate ourselves with Manny Pacquiao anymore, right? And before you get all upset, I mean, you have a right to stop buying Nike. Like, if you feel that strongly about it, a lot of you aren't going to do shit, by the way. Like you don't exercise your rights for shit. But just for the record, like this is how freedom of speech works. Manny Pacquiao expresses freedom of speech. So did Nike. Nike stopped sponsoring Manny Pacquiao. You have freedom to say, fuck Nike, I'm going to stop buying Nike. I'm going to go with another company. Fuck Nike, right? Now, Nike's still going to make record profit. None of you are going to do shit. That's just the reality, okay? Well, that's it. All right? Well, that's it. All right? Like, you have free, like, there is freedom. Like, nobody took away Manny Pacquiao's freedom. He's not locked up in jail and shit for the things that he said. Legally speaking, freedom of speech means this, okay? So, like, as you all know, in Turkey, right? In Turkey, the president of Turkey has locked people up for insulting him, right? Or making fun of him. He's locked them up for that. No one has ever been locked up for calling Obama all those racist names on Facebook. As fucked up as that is, he can't lock you up for that. He can't say, I want that motherfucker arrested. he said something racist about me. Not even the president of the United States could have you arrested for that. Okay? That's freedom of speech. Freedom of speech means you can say whatever you want and not go to jail for it, unless you're threatening somebody, right? So, like, for example, when a neo-Nazi was basically arrested for threatening to kill President Obama, right? Then obviously this whole, the freedom of speech thing didn't really apply, did it? Right? Nobody could threaten to kill you, right? Now, in some states, they actually can, right? They actually can, actually. The most you'll get is maybe like a restraining order or something, all right? But with that said, everyone has a freedom of speech. Manny Pacquiao has freedom to express himself. No one stopped him from expressing himself. It's people just acted accordingly. That's it. Stop acting like this is an issue of freedom of speech, okay? We gotta just... Now, are there people that are hypocrites when it comes to freedom of speech? Absolutely, okay? Right wing are the biggest hypocrites in the world, right? They're the biggest fucking hypocrites in the world, all right? They'll freedom of speech this and unpolitically correct that, and then you go back at them unpolitically correctly, and what do? Fucking victims and shit. They start crying and fucking complaining about shit. But anyway, I just wanted to make sure people understand what freedom of speech means, right? Like in Russia, you don't have freedom of speech. Like if you say something about Putin, all right, that you don't like, then hey, a lot of journalists have disappeared. They just say that in Russia for saying things about Putin. I wonder where they went. I don't know. All right, they just happen so to disappear. With that said, all right. With that said, I take freedom of speech very seriously. I really do, and I hate when people make an issue like this about freedom of speech when it's not. Right? Well, what's happened is when you're a public figure and you start to express yourself in public discourse, the public will react accordingly, and it could many times be according to the times, right? And that's it. Now, granted, I mean, Manny Pacquiao just posted shit and quoting the Bible, and people are saying, "Well, he didn't say it. The Bible said it." Like, yeah, but you're posting it, like you're co-signing the shit. Let me close with this. Carcino made a phenomenal point. It's not every day I agree with Carcino, but he made a phenomenal point. I disagreed with a lot of what he did say, but I mostly agreed with this. And I don't think we're going to go to the same conclusion with it, but let me say this. Carcino said Manny Pacquiao quoted the Bible, and then they try to get rid of him, and poor guy. And I never seen like Carcino be empathetic towards Manny Pacquiao. It was astonishing. But then he said, because he quoted the same Bible that you have people swear on in court. Phenomenal point. Which to me means we got to get rid of the fucking Bible in court. That's my conclusion. You get rid of the fucking Bible in court. Have a lot of you even read the Bible? Have you actually read the things that are in the Bible and what it advocates for or advocated for or what have you? Some people say, well, they're just stories or this, that, or the third. But with that said, okay, in closing, I don't know about you, but two hot women like making out is hot as fuck. All right? So, it is what it is. But now, do I want to see two dudes make out? Absolutely not. Okay, shit makes me gag, right? But that's just me being real, right? That's just me being honest, right? But just because watching them kiss makes me gag, right? It doesn't mean that I should dictate how they should live their life, because they pay taxes like everybody else, right? So